Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's learn computer science. Hi everyone, welcome back to day 13 video of Python tutorial. Our today's topic is Python modules. So let's start and understand what Python modules are and how do we use them. So in today's video, you'll understand how to import modules in Python using import and from statements. Also, we'll explore few modules including math module, random module, and statistics module, right? And some examples on Python shell, of course, to have a better understanding, right? So let's start understanding what modules are. So as a programmer, sometimes we want something which is ready to use, which is built in, and we can just use it in our program when we can put in our efforts to create our logic in a better way instead of putting in efforts on simple things. For example, let's say finding square root of a number, you know so you have a bigger problem to solve, and then you also have a smaller problem in your program, like finding square root of a number. So you will have that need of having something which you can just use, which is ready to use, and you can just put it in your program and use it. In these kind of scenarios, we have modules that come in place, which are actually Python files, which have some Python code which you can use in your programs. So they have some functions, variables, classes which are ready, and you can use as and when you want it. All you have to do is you have to import them in your program which you are going to create, right? So why modules are needed? You know that they will, of course, help you to organize your code. They'll promote code reuse, and of course, they'll enhance the maintainability of your program. So once they are created, kept in the Python libraries, and you can use them multiple times, right? So as I said, that these are kept in the library. So Python has a rich standard library with modules for various purposes, and Python is known for its modules, right? So a few examples of modules are math module for mathematical operations, random for generating random numbers, statistics for analyzing and understanding data, OS for interacting with the operating system, and there is one more very famous, Turtle, for drawing graphics and creating simple animations. In today's video, you'll see few examples of math, random, and statistics modules, and you can make simple programs using these modules after watching this video, right? So first of all, you need to understand how to import, how to include these modules in our programs. It's very simple. You just need to use import statement to bring the entire module. When you need entire module in your program, all you need to do is write this statement, import, and then module name, right? So if I want to include math module in my program, I'll simply write import math. So math module will be imported, and all the functions which are there saved in that math module, I'll be able to use them. For example, there is one function called square root, as I mentioned earlier. So all you need to do is write module name, which is math, dot, using dot is mandatory, and along with that use the function name. So if I want to use square root, which is sqrt, then you write math dot sqrt, and then in the bracket you have to write the parameter value, right? So this value, it can be returned, it can be saved in some variable name. So result is equals to math dot square root 25. So it will give you answer as the result, right? And then you can print that result whenever, wherever you want to. Another way is when you want not the whole module you want to import, but some specific items of that module. For example, some functions or some variables of that module you want to import in your program. You don't want whole module. So what you will do, you will use from statement. So you'll write from math, which is the module name, import, and then you mention the function that you want to import. So that specific function name you'll be writing. So from math, import square root. So only that function will be imported, not the whole module. So it is requirement based. If you need some specific function, you can import that. And then you can use that function directly without mentioning the module name. So above here, we have written math dot square root. But as now we have specifically included that function of that particular module in our program, so we can simply write the function name, which is sqrt, right? So we can access functions and variables of a particular module after importing that module using dot notation, as I have already mentioned up there. Module name, dot function name, and then of course brackets and the parameters, right? Simple. We can also rename the modules. So if you are importing math module or any other module, let's say random or statistics or turtle, you can give them your own names. So we can write import math as M. So all the time I don't want to write math, or if some modules they have bigger names like statistics. So every time writing statistics is a tedious task. So you can just make them simple by writing import statistics as S. Now you have another alternative name for that module, which is S. So every time you want to write a name of that module, you can simply write the alias that you have used. So import math as M. M is the name given. So I can use M dot square root because M is the alternative name for the math module, right? Next is we can import everything from the modules, which is very simple. You can write from math import star. So this will import everything, all the functions, variables, classes, whatever is there in that module, everything will be imported. However, it is recommended that always use caution while importing everything from a module because it can lead to naming conflicts. So only import whatever you actually need. Do not import. It is not recommended to import everything from a module for a cleaner code, right? So that's the recommendation. However, if you want, you can use from math, which is the module name, import asterisk sign. So it will import everything, whatever is there, right? Now let's just have a look what math module is used for. So the math module in Python is like a toolkit for doing math in your programs. So it has various functions uh, for calculating simple mathematical calculations or trigonometric functions. There are some constant values like pi and e. So you can use math module for having these values, having these functions used in your program. So for example, to find the square root of 25, we have already seen this. You can use math dot square root. In the bracket, you can put the value of whatever number you want to find square root of. You can just put that value in the bracket and get the answer. So also there is one another other function, power. So we can write math dot POW, which is for calculating power of 2 raised to power 3. If you want to see 2 raised to power 3, so you can write math dot POW. In the bracket, you can write 2 and then comma 3. So it will give you 2 raised to power 3. Answer for that you will get. Also, if you want to use constant value pi, so it is, of course, it is 3.14. So you can access it using math.pi, right? So these are some mathematical functions. We also have cos, sine. You can even tan. You can use these mathematical functions also for calculations regarding trigonometry, right? Next module, which is very famous and very commonly used is random module. So random module in Python is just like a magical dice, right? You can generate random numbers in your programs. So sometimes, you know, in if you in case you want to add some unpredictability to your code, like you want to create a situation where you're rolling a dice or picking a random number from a range, you can use random module. So for example, in random module, we have random function, we have rand function, we also have rand range function. So their purpose is different, right? So random function, it gives you a random number between 0 and 1, like rolling a dice and getting a fraction. Randint, you can create a random whole number can be generated between the given values. For example, if I give here 1 and 10, you can give any values. So if I want to generate some random number between 1 and 10, so that can be generated using randint. Similarly, we have rand range function. So there you put a start value, stop value, and a step value. We'll see all this in Python shell as well. So before that, let's go and see what statistics module is all about. Statistics module in Python, it helps you to analyze and understand data by providing tools to find averages, central values, and common values. For example, mean, median, and mode. We have these functions in under statistics module, right? So it's like having a helper that tells you the average, middle point, and the most common value in a set of numbers. So if you import that and you want to use, you can use statistics.mean, and then you can provide data inside the function, and you can get the mean value between the given range of data set. If you want to find middle point or median, you can use statistics.median, and then you can put data in the brackets, right? And to find most common value or mode, you can use statistics.mode, and then of course data can be provided inside the brackets, right? So that is uh, how we have these modules present in Python, and that is how you can use these modules. Now let's go and see in Python shell, how do we import, how do we use these modules? Okay, so if in case uh, you have not imported, let's say if at the start you have not imported the module, but you want to use, for example, square root function I want to use. So if I write math dot sqrt and then in the bracket I write 25 and I press enter, it will raise an error and it will say that name or error name math is not defined because math module is not imported yet in my program. So I have to start with import math. So I have to import this module first in order to use this function. So I can use math now. I can use and I can write this square root function of math module and I can press enter and it will give me answer, right? Now it's not raising an error. Yeah. Also, if you want from math import, if I write like this, from math import sqrt, I just want to import this square root function. So then I don't need to write math dot, I can simply write sqrt and in the bracket I can write the value and it will give me answer because now I have specifically imported this function of this math module. Similarly, I can find, you know, sign of any value. So if I write like right now, if I write it like this, it will raise an error. But if I write math dot sign, let's say 500, then it will not raise an error. It will give me an answer because I have already imported math function here. Sorry, math module here. And now I can use all the functions which are available in math. So if I write print math dot pi, it will print value of constant value of pi, right, from math module. So that is how we can use. Similarly, if I want to use random module, so if initially, as I have not imported it yet, if I write random dot rand int and I try to generate some random value between 5 and 6 and I press enter, it will raise an error that random function is not defined, random is not defined. However, if I import this, import random, and then I try to use this, sorry, the spellings are incorrect, so I have to correct the spellings, right? So now it is not raising any error, it is generating value uh, between 5 and 7. So if again I write this, now this time it has generated a different value. So different, as many times you are going to use it, it will be generating different random values every time, right? Again, now it has given 7, so every time it will generate a random value between 5 and 10. Okay. Similarly, if you want to use statistics module, right, you can import statistics. You can also rename it by writing as S. So I'm renaming it as S. So if I want to use some functions of statistics module, I can write S dot, let's say mean function I'm going to use. So I can put different values. Like these values I have given. So if I press enter, now it will give me answer as 12. So mean average of these numbers is given to me. Similarly, I can rename other modules also, like you have used math module earlier. So if I rename math module as math as M, and now I use M dot square root of, let's say, 25, and I press enter, even now it's working using M instead of math, right? So that is how we use these different uh, modules in Python. We have huge library in Python, various modules that you can import and use in your programs. So now it's assessment time. Have a look, pause your video. There are 6 questions for you. Read, very simple questions. Read, try and answer after pausing the video. And of course, I'll be showing answer key at the end. You can compare your answers, and if needed, you can replay the video and you can revise the concepts. Here is the answer key. I hope you have got all the right answers. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.